We're going to add lots of vegetables to this cabbage salad. One of the first things is celery. To prepare celery, take off the rough edge on the bottom and anything that's brown. When it's wet, roll it up in a towel like this, and celery will keep weeks and weeks and weeks. It's phenomenal the length of time that celery will keep. It's a wonderful ingredient in soups and all kinds of things. Don't waste the leaves. The leaves can be used in salads, but they can also be dried. Just make them into smaller pieces, put them on a plate, and just spread them out and let them sit and dry. A nice place is on top of the refrigerator, and you've got your own celery leaves without having to buy them. There are lots of ways that we can use food that gives us free food without having to buy it, and this is one way. Create your own celery leaves. Another thing to create on your own is chives. They're quite expensive. They're about $16 a pound to buy in the bulk, and all chives are is the little green ends of onions. So when onions are in season, particularly when you have a garden, these little multiplier onions are wonderful to have. So don't waste those nice green tops, but cut them all off like this, and do the same thing as we do with the celery leaves. Put them on a plate, spread them out, and just let them dry. Be sure they are very, very dry before you put the top on. Sometimes what I do is after I think they're dry, I will put them into the container, but then I leave the lid off the container for a couple more days just to be very sure that they are dry. So you have made your own chives. Now for our cabbage salad, we're going to use these little green onions. So we'll take off the roots here. I have already washed them. Cut them into some little circles. Now just put in what your family likes, but these are the traditional things. Onion, celery, it's always good to maintain the shape. We eat with our eyes, and food has to look appealing before we even taste it. If I get to the point where it's kind of coarse, I don't throw these away, but I've got some things I might throw into a pot, because we're going to make, this is where we make puree for soups. Again, free food. Green pepper. Try to maintain the shape again. Red peppers are usually more expensive than green peppers, so we use green pepper most of the time. Red pepper does add a little color, but they can be very expensive at times. Now there's all kinds of things you can put in our salad. The cabbage. In any food preparation, wash your hands well before we start, but particularly in salad making, because the things don't go into the oven or aren't cooked, which would kill germs. Now we can add other things. There's all kinds of things. Carrots, make for a good color. You could put raisins and walnuts, all kinds of things in it. Broccoli, cauliflower. We're just going to add a few raisins. Raisins are full of iron, and we need iron. Children and girls in particular, and women make sure that they get enough iron. We use our boiled salad dressing. You see how thick it is now in comparison to what it was when it was being cooked, how it thickens when it gets cold. And use your judgment. Very, very hard in cooking sometimes to give you exact measurements of what to do. You just have to go by what I call the thumb method. Thumb of this and thumb of that in a way. But you put it on until it's moist enough, but not oversaturated. This will keep 2 or 3 days or longer, but it will be crisper. You can eat it immediately, or you can cover it and keep it in the fridge for a couple of days. One thing we must remember though about salads in the summertime is not to leave them out in the heat. I think you'll find that that's about enough dressing on it. Put it into the serving bowl, and you don't have to transfer it again. You can just leave it right in the bowl. Refrigerate it for a while before it's used, just to let the salad dressing mellow into the cabbage, give you develop your flavor. So this is something then that can be done ahead. Now we'll put it in the refrigerator.